All right, everybody. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but welcome to show number 650 of Psykos Platters. That's right. Always powered by coffee each and every time. I'm going to hang here a minute or two until somebody comes on. Hopefully, we can go off and see if everything, the audio and everything's going good for you guys. Hopefully it is, and if not, worst comes to worst, I've got this. I discovered these in a box a day or two back, and so, like I said, I'm not sure if you guys are hearing this or not. I know there's one person in here. I know there is. If somebody can drop me a comment, if you guys can hear me all right, that would be absolutely fine. Like I said, guys, I'm always trying around here. I'm trying to be the best I can with what I've got, because unfortunately, Psycho is a poor ass. I can't afford a lot, especially when it comes to doing YouTube and such. So, welcome to show number 650. That's right. And it kind of amazes me, you know, being here, that I have been on YouTube for 12 years. It's a long time. There's people, of course, obviously, that have been on here longer than me. And, you know what, kudos to them. They were the ones that I got influenced to be able to start doing this. I have no regrets. I really don't have any regrets over the whole 650 shows that I have done. Sure, there's been a few clunkers along the way, but it's a learning process. Good. Thank you for telling me that, out of all honesty. Like I said, damn it, I wasn't going to do a sponsor. But like I said, I literally just put this together. Okay. Thank you, Dusty. I think, Dusty, if you're willing to, I want to do an experiment, maybe in a few minutes. See if you could come on for a minute or two and see how the sound is for that, if you're up for that. But anyways, thank you. So, yeah, I know Thursday night is not normally a night that I happen to do shows. But I'll explain in a minute why this week has been weird, and probably why the next couple weeks are going to be weird. But before I get there, see, I do have notes. I am dedicating this episode, show number 650 of Psykos Platters, to one of the best wrestling heels ever. I am talking about the Iron Sheik, Sheiky Baby. And I wrote on here, and he's wrestling all the jabronis in heaven, and he put Pat Robertson in the camel clutch and sent him to hell. He probably did too, Mr. Pat Roberts. See what I did there? Because he's dead too. I barely remember when Robertson ran for. I know. Let's see here. You stupid jabronis! I'll get you all. Remember? Oh God, I have an Iron Sheik story too. I'll tell you, mate. No, don't leave, Spins. Don't leave. I'm like. You jabronis. Yeah, that. Thank you. I will humble you, Hulk Hogan. You know what? Okay, say what you will, but he is in my top 5. My top 5 best wrestling heels of all time. The man, and the thing is, I mean, he really was from Iran. And there's a great documentary on him. Even if you're not into wrestling, this could actually be very fun for you to watch. And I am glad I got to meet him. I got to meet him once in 2010. It was very weird circumstances in regards to how, okay, but I was in Chicago, and they had a convention called Wizard World. That's the name of the thing, right? It was mostly Comic-Con, pop culture, that kind of stuff, okay? And there was a row, if you will, of wrestlers. You would have thought that I died and went to heaven because of all the people I got to meet that day. And I did, too. The best interactions that I had, probably, seriously, in no order whatsoever, Mick Foley, Ted DiBiase, Kevin Nash, and Iron Sheik. And Iron Sheik, so I'm sitting there and okay, see, remember this is 2010, so the cell phones aren't really that good for taking too many photos, okay? They're just not. I still had like a flip phone, okay? So I was bringing around my digital camera, and I was taking photos of just the people. Back then, you could meet them, you could shake their hand, you could have small conversation if there wasn't a line, okay? It was allowed. Nobody really was annoyed by the whole entire thing, to be honest. And there was this big, bulky security guard, and he saw I took a picture of Iron Sheik. Now, mind you, I'm not in the picture. I just took a picture of him. I was taking a picture of just about almost all the wrestlers. Of course, I don't know where half of those damn photos went now. But the guard got up from his chair, went up to me, and said, $20. I'm going for what? And he's like, for taking that picture. I'm going, dude, I'm not even in the picture. I'm not even in the picture. I am not giving you $20. I finally ended up having a mini argument with this guy, okay? I'm like, look, I had enough of his nonsense. I said, you know what? I said, this isn't worth it. If you want me to delete the damn picture, I'll do it in front of you, all right? Case closed, end of it. I wasn't trying to start nothing. And what's funny is he backed down. He backed down, and I was being brutally honest because I was there to have a good time. So he just said, never mind, it's all right. So I kept the picture. I may have it somewhere, but I don't know where the hell it is. So we did one more go-around in the convention floor, and I got back to Sheik. Now, the guard's sitting there next to Sheiky Baby, and I went up to Iron Sheik, and to reach my hand to shake him, I go, sir, you are the best wrestling heel of all time. You, sir, are the epitome of excellence. That's what I said, and I meant it, because that guy was a total badass. Everyone loved to hate him. And he looks and he smiles that smile. He's got that little, and he's like, he turns to the guy and goes, see, this guy intelligent. I don't see too many of him around. That's what he said. And then I just, like I said, I shook my hand, said thank you, and I was on my merry way. I don't know, maybe I ran out of money or something, because I would have loved to have gotten Sheik's autograph. I never got Iron Sheik's autograph. But at least I got to meet him. And like I said, I have a picture of Sheik from the convention somewhere. Isn't it amazing how much food and drink? Oh my God. All the stories, all the different stories. And for the life of me, I can't remember. There was a wrestling match, a legit going on wrestling match, and Andre shit himself in the ring. Can you imagine that? I mean, that's just bad. Hey, you know what, Scott? Good to see you, and thank you for the communication behind the scenes, sir. You met Dusty. You know what? I like Dusty. Okay, some people you either love him or hate him. I liked all that stuff. I didn't get into wrestling till about maybe 80, 81 because of television. I never got to go to a indie wrestling match till probably about 90, I want to say, and I did get to meet a few. Paul is the same way around wrestlers the way I would be if I was Survivor. I would have been real geeky with the voice actors, but I don't think I met any voice actors. Okay, you mean like we're talking like the old school cartoons? I would have loved to have met those people. Before I get any further, please. Well, oh God, didn't you cut a 45? I could have sworn I thought I heard that. He was at the YMCA. Well, yeah, because I mean, let's face it. Back then, your YMCAs, your National Guard armories, all of that. I'll tell you, such fun. So let me tell you real quick, though, guys, before I go into my ADD tangent, because that's just how I am, and you guys know that. You guys have been here forever. So not only did we dedicate this episode to the Iron Sheik, who put Pat Robertson in that camel clutch and sent him straight to hell, but also New Age pianist George Winston, rest in peace, and I don't know if I'm going to get this right, Astrid Gilberto, the girl from Ipanema? I don't know. Needless to say, I'm not a big jazz fan. I brought this up. I dabbled. But my first jazz album that I ever got for 99 cents was a nice, minty, early 80s Japanese pressing of Gets Gilberto. It sounds so sweet. Oh, man. And that's how I got turned on to Stan Getz, sort of, in a way. All right. Let's see here. A missed opportunity for me is not never yet. Because everyone knows I can go off and do voiceovers. Wowzers, Penny. Can't you go helicopter hat? Hello, Chumley. We're going to escape from the cinema. Oh, gee, Tennessee. Or another one I like to do. Oh, God. Okay, here we go, kids. Hang on a second. Oh, boy. Hey, Fred. I just got done eating pebbles. Bard, what did I tell you about eating pebbles? But she's over 18, Fred. She's legal. Oh, see, you didn't know where I was going there. Oh. I'm going to get the hate letters. Address them to P.O. Box 6969. I don't give a shit. Idaho. Care of this station. All right. New subscribers. I've had a lot. Hope I can pronounce all these right. David Donnelly, Steve Park, Arthur Prosser. Now, forgive me, Deese. Okay, Deese is a cool dude. Deese is on the Rachel show. He's out of Israel. But I've seen some of his watch episodes. Everyone, synchronize your watches. Hello, Chief. Would you believe 2 naked Chaos Pygmy agents? 3? Max. But Deese, Deese. I'm saying it wrong. I know. Sorry, Deese. Tim's Guitar World with Tim Fescom, Josh D, Jeff K. Myers, Vintage Funk, Planet Off Plot, and Jimmy Johnson. All are now in the Psycho Platter network. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Also, a quick little commercial for different people. Sam St. John's doing a 5 for 5 contest. You got from now to June 30th, find 5 records or CDs, it looks like, that nobody would expect you to have in your damn collection. That's right. And you know what? Here's the thing. I do actually have 5 that I want to talk about. Some of them I have actually showed in past Psycho Platter episodes, but others I have not. So there'll be some new material and some old material, ladies and gentlemen. So Sam St. John's contest. I would have brought up Robert Z, but unfortunately the contest was over with the lottery thing. I got a little confused with it anyway. Also, guys, Jukebox from Hell starts next week. I have had such good positive comments and secret messages, not to be confused with ELO's album Secret Messages. My buddy Jen told me as a little girl, never. Oh, God, that would have been great. That would have been so great. I'll be taking VC wagers on how long will it take the ghost to. You know what? You could be right. You could be right. I've seen it before in the past. Now, saying that, let me just say something here. I am an independent free agent here in the VC. I have never aligned myself with anybody, and I hope to keep myself that way because I believe in being true to form. I did not sleep with that intern. Oh, hi, Paul. Talking wrestling and music. I got to wrestling in the 90s and never stopped. Hey, wait a minute. How'd you know that you met John Cena at a wrestling show in 2006 when we can't see him? See what I did there? I wouldn't mind meeting John Cena. He's John Cena. I liked wrestling for about 5 minutes in the 70s until I realized it's pretty good. Don't say that word. Don't say pretty much. Don't say that F word. Okay? Let's all. I'm gonna leave this up for a second. Let's leave this up for a second because we gotta explain. There is genuine physicality between two or more wrestlers to a predetermined outcome. All right? None of this is fake. I've seen bruises. I haven't saw a broken bone once at a wrestling match. I don't even want to go there. Is free. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll take that. Before the show, that's the most fun part, is being able to catch him if you can, before or after the shows. And I've done, I got to admit though, okay, John, I've only went to a handful of WWF/E shows, but I did get to actually meet at least a wrestler each time I went. Well, okay, yes, but oh God, you're making my head hurt. So the thing is that sometimes it's just one wrestler controlling it. Sometimes it's both. It depends on who is who, and then the referee, of course, is your in-betweener, your communication wire, if you will. See, that's awesome. That they're able to do that. Well, of course not, because the high school wrestling's a lot different. And, I respect that stuff, too. Don't get me wrong. I actually know somebody that, well, I know he went to college on a wrestling scholarship. He did end up in indie wrestling, okay? And he did get to wrestle bunches of namers, but it took over the years. Like, in fact, I was a little bit, yes, that's right. We say scripted. Very good. Thank you, sir. Well, yeah, exactly. We're there to be entertained by the people, but you know what cost? A lot of people have died due to their injuries, the pain, the addiction to the painkillers, the lifestyles. Because in the 70s to the 90s specifically, they were major celebrities. They were like the rock stars of the sports entertainment world. Okay, and God, the one that's always going to get me is China. I met China, as an Orange man would say. I met China when she only was in WWF for the first couple weeks. Beautiful woman. Oh God, I really would have loved to have talked to her more than the 5 minutes I did. Honest to God, I'm serious. She seemed very sweet, okay? And to see what happened over the years. We used to do the claw, you know, yes, Baron von Raschke, and unfortunately the cursed Von Erichs. God, you know, okay, sometimes you can go off and say, how long have you watched wrestling? How old are you? Well, I remember watching wrestling when there was at least Kerry, Kevin, Chris, 3 or 4 Von Erichs were still alive. That's how bad. Oh God, here we go. Want to hear a joke? When I was in high school, I asked the gym teacher who liked me if I could try out for the wrestling team. At least I cracked him up. I was 4 feet tall, 85 pounds stripping weight. Hey Greg, how are you? At age 15, 16. Oh boy. Caught host of pay-per-views. I would tape on via. Yes, right? I used to do the same thing, but I also have to tell you something else too, speaking of VHS and such. So, I had a buddy of mine. I really miss him. I tried looking for him, and I have not been able to find him. So here's a little backstory, if you will, and then I'll get to where I'm going on this, because as you know, this is how I am. Always powered by coffee each and every time, not necessarily Snoopy. Yes, I would have loved to have witnessed firsthand the Von Erichs, and I would have loved to have met the Von Erichs and Baron von Raschke. But, so my buddy Jason, his name was Jason Love. Seriously, it almost sounds like a porn star name, right? But it really was his name. Now, I probably shouldn't have blurted that out, but you know what? This story goes back to the late 90s, okay? So, if Jason, I know you'll probably never see this, but I miss you, buddy. I used to have so many laughs with this guy. I worked in a Motorola factory kitchen, okay? Like we're talking Motorola factory that made the phones and stuff. So I worked in the kitchen. Well, he was a former wrestler. Well, you know, he tried to dabble in it some more, but he was an indie wrestler known as the Prophet. Very stocky, very built. He kind of did an Undertaker angle, and he actually could walk the ropes. That amazed me. I saw a video on this. Yes, I think some still do that, right? Well, isn't the Boston Crab oh God. Well, yeah, isn't the Boston Crab's the camel clutch, isn't it? Or am I wrong on that? I could have sworn that's what the physicality of the Boston Crab was similar to the camel clutch for Sheiky Baby. So the thing is that as soon as he knew that I liked wrestling, you know, and we watch it, we're talking, you know, at that time anyway, in the late 90s, obviously WWF, soon to be WWE, WCW, all right. We had local ones, Windy City Pro Wrestling, which a lot of people came from. You know, a lot of people came out of there, and there was people that came through there. Now, the ones I remember seeing, Trevor Blanchard, Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, they all got their starts through there, through Windy City Pro Wrestling, okay? And then there was another one called NAWF, which was out of Beloit, Wisconsin. I got to see a couple people out of there, too. The point is, now this is, like I said, late 90s here. He gives me a VHS to borrow, and he goes, you need to see this. Because he asked me a question. He goes, have you ever heard of ECW? And I'm going, ECW blew my mind. Now, I know some of you people out there, you purists, if you will, would go off and say, oh, no, not that. If you think wrestling is fake, get in the ring for 5. I know, right? I've been in a wrestling ring. I've never wrestled 5 minutes. I thought it was some kind of hole where the wrestler dug his fingers into your upper stomach and was hard to get out of. Oh, shit, I know what you're talking about, but I think that's called something else. Yes. And you know what's really funny? Oh, God, that's another one. I guess I should have dedicated. I haven't been on for a while, as you know, guys, but Superstar, this goes out to you too. I bet you Superstar and and Sheiky are having a little battle right now. Yeah, see? Yeah, exactly. Hogan and Jesse the Body. Sweet and Sour, the man of the hour. And roller derby. Oh, but you know what's really funny? We actually have roller derby in Fayetteville, which is about a 25-minute drive from here. It's called the Starlight Stadium. See what I did there? Because that's really what it's called. And I shouldn't say this because I don't know if roller derby cranked back up after COVID, but they actually had a league down here. I once saw a show on TV where they showed how they did wrestling shows. So some along this, I think I might know what you're talking about. I saw that special too, and there was 2 or 3 former WWF/WCW. One of them was the Patriot. I can tell you that. He was wrestling under a mask. Was the Patriot, and I want to say Dr. Death Steve Williams was in that show too, hiding under something. Oh my God, that was somebody. Oh yes, Andy Kaufman. I am the intergender wrestling champ. Oh man, I loved Kaufman. See, there you go, the LA Thunderbirds. I don't know what the team in Chicago was because we did have wrestling and then roller derby. Channel 44 out of Chicago. But like I said, that's the 70s, and I can barely. Henry Winkler did a wrestling comedy. I don't know anything about that. Can you tell me what the title of it is so I can look it up later? Please and thank you. Okay, so let's see. I do have some prayers to go out before I go any farther on this, okay? Prayers going out to the M&M girl. I know you're sitting there going, well, who's the M&M girl? Well, that's my friend Mary, okay? She had to have a biopsy in her, I guess near her lung or one of her lungs. No, she wasn't a smoker. I don't know what the deal with that is. My friend Lindy, it's very complicated. I can't really explain except it's just in the head area, okay? Gonna probably migraines that came back. Doug Fields, of course, host of the Vinyl Grotto. He had another mini stroke episode, but he is out of the hospital. He only stayed a day. And then me, believe it or not, now you're going to be like, what? Greg Mann always followed Janis Joplin. Yes. I'll tell you. What was it? I tripped on. I'm going to have to listen to it. I think they call it the typewriter tape. It's Janis Joplin and Jorma Kaukonen from Airplane. Anyways, so please pray for me too. This is a crutch, ladies and gentlemen. I was working my normal job, and I zigged instead of zagged, and I either tore a ligament or sprained a ligament, okay? So I am going to be out, unfortunately, for a couple weeks because I can't get into my doctor till the 23rd. Isn't that fun? Not really. Here's another gentleman. I just watched his 10 little-known facts about the Jimi Hendrix Woodstock concert experience. And I'll tell you what I threw out there into his comment. I honestly would have loved that after that concert, if he would have been able to gel with that band, because I know they only had those 2-3 shows and that was the end, but I think it would have been a cool band for him to experiment and stretch out in, even though, of course, I'm always going to love the Jimi Hendrix experience. Yes, that's actually what I'm talking about. Channel 44, if I remember correctly, for Bob Luce Wrestling. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. You know the one who always scared the hell out of me out of that show? Ox Baker. There you go. There's a name I shouldn't know. Ox Baker. And he ended up being I was on a couple cooking shows too. Go figure. He pronounces it, Yorma. I'm never very good at this shit for the pronouncing, but Yorma. What? I said Jorma, didn't I? Just not enough this. Not enough this. Anyways, yes. Everybody share the love here. So, I'm going to be out for a couple weeks. I'm not happy about it, to be honest. I'm kind of nervous. We're getting to the point here. I have been green-lit. I have lost the weight to get the surgery done, but I cannot have the official write-off until the 28th of this month when I go see my GP and goes, okay, fat ass, you lost enough weight, we can approve the total knee replacement surgery. So at the back end of the month, I'm going to be running on fumes. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I have to borrow money if I can. I'm usually a very responsible person. I don't go off and spend money unnecessarily, but I'm going to be a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. That's not a commercial. I'm just being honest because that's how I am. That's right, the heart punch. Oh, my God. And, of course, we fast forward from Ox Baker to Mean Mark Calloway. That's right, and how basically that was his move, and then they outlawed it due to, I cannot remember who died in Japan or almost died in Japan, where the heart punch, of course, was legal, and I cannot remember who it was that died in the ring because of the heart punch. And so they're like, nope, no more heart punches. Am I on leave, Paul? Yeah, I'm officially on leave. I don't, there's a lot of rules and shit in regards to all of this, though, Mike. I'm not going to be able to get the disability part until I go see my doctor on the 23rd, who can fill out the paperwork, and then hopefully, so yeah, like I said, the back end of the month's going to be pretty hairy, but hopefully some of the money might get recouped in July, but I'm not holding my breath. I do know one thing. I'm going to have to leave this company after I get the surgery. I cannot do this work anymore, not to this level. I think I realized that at almost age 56. I have been a very mostly active worker, and I know a lot of you guys and girls have been out there too. That's what you do. You put the nose to the grindstone, and I've done it for a very long time. Next week will be 16 years I've been at Wally World, which I know for some people is a lot, and for some people it's not. But you know what? I have learned Walmart is not. It's a younger man's game now, okay? And that's not to slam the older people in the audience. The one and only, I'm going to have to write this down here. I want to look at that. Didn't even know about that. So the Fonz was in a wrestling movie. The one and only. You know what I ended up watching? It was free on YouTube here. Lords of Flatbush. I ended up watching that. I haven't watched that, probably since the 80s. I think I tripped on it on a late night. They owe me a knee, damn it. They owe me a knee. They seriously helped to cripple me. So they owe me a knee. So I will get my knee, and then I will start looking after that. I was in bad shape working at retail, but I couldn't retire because Social Security wouldn't pay me enough to live in Connecticut. Oh boy, yeah, I could see that. That's why I moved to Tennessee. I can understand that. Technically, though, I've said this before. I've said it again. I am so sorry, Royce. Construction is brutal. I ended up only doing it for about a week. And it's not exactly for what you guys think. I was actually technically supposed to be working in a nursing home, but the thing wasn't open yet. They thought they were going to be real funny and go up and go, well, until it's open. And I'm like, hold on a minute. This facility was supposed to be open. I ended up doing construction cleanup for a week. And I'm like, I said, because it turned out me and my people that I worked with were tricked to coming in there early, and we pretty much all left en masse. Yeah, well, I'm like I said, I can't retire, okay? I can't do that until, like I said, between 62 and 63. That's when the hell I'm getting out. I'll go be a stay-at-home grandpa if I'm still alive. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm done. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it because for a few years I was working 3 consecutive jobs. Okay, I mean I was burning the candle at both ends and then some. And then there's a lot of people out there that have done double jobs, and I respect you people for that. I respect you. If I could do it all over again, I'd have much more proactive in marketing myself in some realm of voice acting, or else as a guitar tech roadie. You know, I know roadie and stuff like that is very hard work, but, you know, I maybe would have loved to have gone into it maybe when I was a teenager. I know it's not an easy life, but boy, the stories. And I would have, you know, honest to God, Greg, you take care of yourself, okay? I'm glad you popped on by. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the thing, though, right? Is that, you know, I know we all have those woulda, shoulda, couldas, you know. We just do. And I don't know. I look back on things, and the thing is I've learned possibly two things out of all this shit, okay? My son was right. I was born with no ambition. That's my problem, okay? And I'll admit it, I still am like that. I wish that I had more ambition in my life, and I don't know how I can learn that at almost 56. But the woulda, shoulda, coulda land, I would have gone into radio a lot sooner, probably about a good decade sooner, right out of high school. I would have gone. Maybe I could have had at least good 10, 15 years before the technology changed, before radio sucked. It's either that avenue, or I gladly would have loved to have worked at a record store, even if they were records going into CDs, just to be into the music business, okay? Because let's not forget, it's a music business. It's both parts. Yeah, you know, I'm guilty of that too. I did settle, and I shouldn't have. And I don't know. I just should have. I should have went and. But you know what? Here's the thing. I've got 5 great kids. I do. I got 5 great kids. I have 9 grandchildren. We will find out by the end of August if I've got grandchild number 10 on the way. That's right. And that'll probably be the last grandchild as far as maybe we know. I could be totally wrong. There's one kid that could really surprise me down the line. But, you know, when God said, be fruitful, multiply, I guess I did that job, oh God, or should I say you did? Because you're the one that I have nary a child. But yeah, so had a few stepkids, instant family rise, married. Yeah, that was marriage number 2 for me. Marriage number 2. I brought in 1 kid, and she had 5 already. Now, saying that, I know you're like, what the hell? But it really, I didn't have all 5 of the, because like the oldest one was already gone already. So there was really 4 kids. All right. My kid, me and the missus. So we had 7. Oh boy. And then over the years, I added 4 to the mix, but then a couple more left. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And the thing is that some of my stepkids hated me. They hated me, you know, in the 90s. I know one that still does. But you know what? He was the ass, not me. Maybe my behavior wasn't great, but he was the ass. That's right, Brian. I called him out. Yeah. He still owes me. You know, I kind of say this, that you know how I'd make peace with Brian? It's called $1,888. And I know you're sitting here going, $1,888. That was the phone bill. Over 2 months, the girlfriend accepted every jail call. Every jail call. Jail calls ain't cheap. And I didn't know she was doing them. He could have said, don't. But no. And then he stole from me and my wife too. Yeah, he did. Before that. So the kid didn't learn his lesson. Anyways, but the other ones, they pretty much, afterwards, they were like, you know what? We're sorry we gave you. Yeah. You know that good old, how the credit collectors call and go, well, you owe $1,888, but if you could pay us today, we'll settle for it. I'd even do that. I'd be a nice guy and go, you know what, $1,000 in my hand. Put that money in my hand. Say it, clerks. But whatever, I digress. But the stepkids, they, 3 of them anyway, came to me and apologized for their behavior. You know, they did over those years, you know. And I'm not very chummy. I do say happy birthday and all that other stuff, you know, and that's about it, because that's all I care to do. That's how I feel. I separate myself because there's still a lot of chaotic drama. I'm too old for chaos, guys. I'm too old for drama. Unless it's the 1980 Yes album. And then I will listen to that and crank up Metal Messiah whenever I can get to. See what I did there? You're like, fuck. Let's see. My first car, oh, God. Probably 1986. For me, and it was $100. Buick LeSabre, 1970. Oh God! And the engine ended up on fire. Not because of me though, jackasses. That was my brother-in-law in my first marriage. Yeah, thanks a bunch, Rex. I'll call him out too. You know what's weird? How about this? So in my first 2 marriages, I had brother-in-laws named Rex, and both of them were douches. Okay, I know you're sitting here going, you 10 people, and I appreciate you being here. You're all sitting there going, I thought we were going to talk about music, and we will, because I do have some finds to show in another commercial. But let me just say, I already lost a couple of people already. Shit. So, but yeah, in my first 2 marriages, I had brother-in-laws named Rex, and they were both douches. The first one, he had a Napoleon complex because he was real short, like Napoleon, eh? Secondly, the second one, he's dead now. He's been dead for a few years. What made me mad, he used to drink a lot. And I don't mind if you're going to do that, but he was an asshole drunk, okay? He just was. And so, yeah. So, the thing is that I could ignore it because he didn't live with us. He'd visit maybe once every other week. But he would already be sloshed because he would go to the bar in town. We were within walking distance of every damn bar that was in the town. I'm not kidding you. This is the 90s we're talking here, late 90s. And so I'm just like, okay. Well, one day he stayed over. He got so drunk, he pissed my lazy boy. He fucking pissed my lazy boy chair. My chair. You know how Archie Bunker always had his chair? This was my fucking chair, pardon the French. And I'm like, Rex, I'm going, you pissed my chair. I said, you owe me. Because no, you owe me money. It took him a while, but he paid me back. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? So my wife at the time, she worked for Little Caesars Pizza. She was the manager in my little town in Illinois. And he came in there one day, and he was already half sloshed. And I don't know what pissed him off. And I come on in there, and there was let's see, the wife, him, me, and a customer. But I knew the customer. And he starts turning around and he said something about fuck you to me, right? And I spun back at him real quick. I go, no, go fuck yourself, you chair pisser. I go, you damn. And you know what's really funny? You know in the cartoons when you start yelling and the person gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. That's what happened. He slunk out of that damn Little Caesar. I turned to my friend who was the customer. I said, I'm sorry you had to hear and see that. I go, but he had it coming. Chair pisser. Anyways, he's dead too. He died about close to 10 years ago. I had a nice recliner for some reason, but then White decided to sit on the chair with me. That was the end of the... She was very heavy, but she was not my brother. See what I did there? I want you. I want you so bad. She's so heavy. I never said I could sing. I know. Sorry, Mike. Oh, I thought you said she was your wife. I'm confused. Anyways, all right. Well, you know what? I'll tell you something. So my second wife, she wasn't super duper heavy. She was a little stocky, you know. She wasn't. Unfortunately, after we got married, that was a complete other story. But it was kind of weird. So she got more portly, and I ended up losing 50 pounds. I don't recommend that diet unless I call it the post-divorce diet. Oh, okay. I get it now. So, yes. All right, commercial time. I know you're like, shit. So, firstly, I mean, I know that I've got my regulars here, but this is for the audience that maybe you'll be coming on and watching later, because I do get a lot of views from you guys. I do, and I love you, and I appreciate it very, very much. So, if you haven't liked and subscribed to Psykos Platters, please do. We have had a nice influx of subs since the last time I was on here, and I know you guys are like, I really would like to get to 1,000. I really, really would. We're getting there, guys. We are just a shade over 50 to go. I know. It took me 12 years to damn do it. But we've got just a little more than 50 to go till I get to 1,000 subs. And maybe we'll have a special show. That would be nice. I do not want to open my big mouth and say maybe there'll be a contest. Because the last time I tried that, nobody entered the contest. So I kind of get tired about that. No sign of you know what? No, but I feel bad. I really do genuinely feel bad for my friends up in that area. I have a bunch of Facebook friends that live in New York, for example, and they're having to, I think New York, Pennsylvania, they're having to deal with it. Those wildfires from Canada, I don't know where exactly. Rachel, did you start the fire? Oh no, here we go. Did she start the fire? Oh. See, we can blame any Canuck. Any Canuck, ladies and gentlemen. Did Brian Adams start the fire? Did Terrence and Phillip start the fire? Did the Trailer Park Boys accidentally start the fire in Sunnyvale? I'm telling you, could have been anybody. Could have been anybody. I'm getting major smoke here, and we are not talking. No major smoke and sassafras here. See what I did there, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, okay. See, now that part, I'm sorry to make fun of that. That's not funny at all. My buddy in Connecticut said it was bad. It was very, very bad. The smoke is bad in Connecticut. I started the fire in her heart. So anyways, next week, coming up, I film the brand new episode for season 2 of Jukebox from Hell. I'm going to tell you guys, I cannot get over the positive reviews and results that this sub-series caused over the last 10 episodes, that first season of 10 episodes. Season 2, episode 1, technically episode 11. We will be reviewing the 1982 on Dark Horse Records. George Harrison's Gone Troppo, that's right. That'll be the first episode of the second season of Jukebox from Hell. And believe you me, there will be another Beatle that will get later in the season that will get it again. But we've already got 3 quarters already set for season 2 already. I'm telling you. East Coast hit hard. You know, maybe that, but here's the thing. You see, I think you were the one that brought up about extra texture. Extra texture, I went and examined. Extra texture actually charted higher than Gone Troppo, and that's why extra texture didn't get the Jukebox from Hell treatment. Seriously, that's why. And so, but this one here got the Jukebox from Hell treatment for several reasons that we will discuss when that episode is happening. Did you hear what Ringo is doing? Instead of really, I'm so tired. Yeah, I know. He keeps milking it. That's a good one. I give you a point for that. Yeah, that's good. You deserve a point for that one. Peace and love. Oh no, I'm almost out of hair dye. Speaking of that kind of stuff, not hair dye, but Beatles. I'm going to show you something if it's all right with you here. This is just basically some stuff that I did pick up. Not all of it's going to be Beatle related, so don't all disappear on me. But I started this book that I picked up for doll hair. Fab, An Intimate Life of Paul McCartney by Howard Soons. And I actually learned a couple things in this book so far. Okay, so one of the things. And for some of you Beatle fans, you can be like, well, I already know that. But you know what? I have been a lifelong Beatle fan and started reading in the late 70s, the Beatles and such. So once in a while, you still can get different takes and points of views that go, oh. So I've only gone through about the first 125 pages of this. This is about a 500-600 page book to read. And I'm only starting to get into the end of 64, going into 65, of course, with the Beatles. So, oh boy. Mike, maybe that's in a later chapter. Maybe that's in a later chapter about Paul McCartney. But there was one interesting point that I thought all these years in regards to the sacking of Pete Best. Okay? So, June, like about 61 years ago, roughly this week, they go into the studio. All right, so John, Paul, George, Pete Best. And they end up going through and doing a recording session. So 2 things happen that speed up the process of Pete going bye-bye. All right, so the first thing is that originally, when they had that first EMI recording session with Pete Best, and George Martin takes him off to the side and says, "You've got something here." He goes, "But I'm not." He goes, "How would you feel?" This was coming from George. "How would you feel about if we replaced Pete? Because I'm just not getting it." Now I know I'm paraphrasing and making stuff here. But originally the other 3 said, well, we're kind of a package deal. That was the original thought. But a couple days later, they end up doing a BBC radio show, and if I remember, correctly, it was later that week. They end up doing one of their first BBC radio shows. And there's lots of people behind the scenes that noticed that Pete was the one that was pulling in all the girls. Also, there was a mini fight between Pete and Jim McCartney, Paul's dad. A quick verbal joust, if you will. That's what cemented it. Seriously. So, they for about a week, they were like, all for one, one for all. And then that happened. So it's like, that makes it a little bit different. The second thing that I learned so far from here, which maybe wasn't exactly news breaking, if you will, but I guess for some reason a light bulb came on for me. And that was when Bob Dylan went to visit the Beatles in '64 after the second show at the Forest Hills Tennis Stadium. And they go smoke the joints and stuff like that, and they start talking. Well, they ended up revering each other so much that the influences that day kind of changed music some, if you think about it. Dylan starts thinking about going towards electric, which of course he does, and basically, the folk purists were all pissed off that he went electric. But on the Beatles side of the fence, they started having a little bit more serious subject matter, which is kind of where you get, and I always said that Rubber Soul and Revolver were transitional LPs. They're still great. They're transitional. You're going from the first couple, so the music from October '62 to late '64 is your yeah, she loves you, I want to hold your hand type stuff. Then you start going into transitional with those two albums. More Rubber Soul than Revolver, because Revolver, you're really starting to get into the psych stuff, which then opens the door for Pepper. But I still say that Rubber Soul and Revolver are your transitional albums to get to the next phase of psychedelic, if you will. Well, yeah, a lot of weed's going to help with that. I did not know there's a new Leon Russell book. I'm going to have to look into that. Yes, finally he did, and he deserved them. Another thing was their buddy Neil had, I know, wasn't that so strange? Very, very strange. And the thing is that Neil was actually going to leave with Pete. Seriously, after Pete got sacked. And Pete's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that because of me. Yeah, exactly. I love that song. I also, like I said, I think Norwegian Wood has got that Lennon witticism, but that turn, how some Dylan stuff can be like that too. Yeah, how come we didn't get a Rubber Soul set? Everybody was spending money on the Revolver set. I don't know, whatever. So, yeah. So, so far this is actually a really interesting read. And I've read a lot of Beatle books, and I've read a lot of McCartney books, but even once in a while, you could pick up a little nugget or two. I said nugget. CD finds, how about that? You want to see some CD finds? Speaking of Beatles, this is all 50 cents, by the way. I picked up Yellow Submarine. Yeah, the Yellow Submarine for 50 cents. Nothing wrong with these things. Nothing. There's nothing wrong here in Pepperland. Nothing at all. And, but here, now, like I said, forgive me on this. I know this only came out, I think, a couple of years ago, this release. But for this one here, you get the mono mix, the true mono mix of Only a Northern Song comes on here. So I haven't had a chance to listen, and I cannot wait to listen to that. How about some old school country? I got some old school country. Oh, Yeah, well, that'd be kind of cool, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Yeah, Mona Best. I got, by the way, Pete Best's website, decently priced signed 8x10s of old school Beatle photos. Him with the Beatles. There's several different ones. I bought one. I do want to get another Pete Best autograph, but at least I've got one. It's not personalized or nothing, but it's his. So, I don't want to say I bought this because of reading the Graham Parsons book, 20,000 Roads, which is an excellent read, by the way, from 2007. I'd show it to you, but I've already got it in a pile. I said pile, waiting to go to my bestie, my Arkansas bestie, Donna Jo Kett lady. She's getting that book. But they mention this brother act a bunch in this book. And courtesy of Real Gone Music, I don't know when this happened, but again, for 50 cents, 4 CDs, 8 classic albums from the Louvin brothers. That's right. The one that the one I'm waiting for still, Satan is Real. I have never come across a copy of Satan is Real. I would love to see that. One guy says he can't wait until they do the remix of the first albums, which is nuts because that is true. I mean, 2-track tape that. Okay, so, all right, so in the comments, please tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. So the album Shadow Kingdom, okay, so he went and redid his mid-60s material in his now voice. Am I right or wrong about this? Or is there any new material whatsoever on Shadow Kingdom? I saw the trailer. I have not heard anything else. Awesome. I guess Graham Parsons very underrated. Yeah, I would love to find I have never come across a copy of that. Make that. Yeah, I know. Make that a 3-CD. Yeah, I would love to find that. I have never come across one of those. I found some Louvin stuff, but I've never found that. Here's another one. Like I said, for 50 cents, I'm willing to take gambles. So how about the best of Joe Eli? Now, I've heard of Joe Eli. Didn't he come out of Texas or something like that? So for 50 cents, why not? Why not? The last real Texas blues band featuring Doug Sam. Of course, from Doug Sam, Sir Douglas Quartet. Okay, so we got that. And lastly, I didn't know that Kim Wilson from the Fabulous Thunderbirds did solo albums, so happy to get that. On the Antoine's label. Yeah, somebody dumped a bunch of stuff on that label. I might eventually go back and get the rest, but for 50 cents, Quintet. Thank you. Sorry, kind of not in the noggin here. Sir Douglas Quintet. She's about a mover. No. No. Oh God, you know what? I came across some goofy thing. I'll tell you about this. I never even heard of this. All right, there's a oh God, I think it's called Honest Abe Reviews. It's a channel. No, it's not Abe Lincoln. It's a channel that has to do with television, okay, and old school stuff. And he'll review things. Agreed. Very much agreed. I came across a really, what sounds like a horrible Christmas TV special? Movie? I don't know. It's from 1984. Scrooge's Rock and Roll Christmas. Really bad. So you're talking 1984. So who was in this rotten Christmas film? Oh boy. Now remember, this is 84. Three Dog Night. So you really do have the original three. Okay, it's going to be one of your last visual appearances, though. So they each do a song. So Three Dog Night, Paul Revere and the Raiders, okay, Beach Boys, oh boy, and Mike Love does double duty in this thing. I said double duty. Association, and Bobby Goldsboro. This is hard to look at. And they put it on VHS, not on DVD, but they put it, there was an LP, I'm told, from 83. And I'm like, oh, that makes me nervous. And then they put it out on VHS in 84, and then they put it out in either 88 or 90. I'm guessing at the dollar stores. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you, good to see ya. Around 1980, I picked up a DJ promo copy of the Best of Serta. Oh, yes. Who was it from that band? Oh, man. I almost ended up with an album signed by Augie Myers. Almost. I can't remember what happened, why I didn't end up with that album. But I would have loved to have had a Doug Sam autograph. But yeah, Augie Myers. Okay, here we go. Shadow Kingdom, When I Paint My Masterpiece. Most likely you'll go your way. Queen Chain, Approximately. I'll Be Your Baby Tonight, just like Tom Thumb's Blues and Tombstone Blues. So it's him reimagining these classics. I don't mean to knock him because I'm glad that he's still out there doing things, but I don't understand why they did the album, is what I'm getting at, okay? If you're going to do your material now in a radical way, it could be quite interesting. I just don't understand. I guess I'll buy it eventually, okay? Because I still am so far behind. I don't even have Rough and Rowdy Ways. And unfortunately, the store that had it, I would say, sold their only copy within the first 2 weeks of release, and I never got to get it. So, and I mean, I really kind of thought that's how he was going to end his career. But, okay, I'm not going to knock Dylan. I won't do it because I love him. I do. I know, right? Here's another thing about Tex-Mex, okay? There's not a lot of things I know. I am not a Tex-Mex expert. But when Doug Sam, and that quintet would be one. Another one that does that sound to me, and here's a name I haven't thrown out in a very long time, and I haven't heard or seen him in a very long time, Joe King Carrasco and the Clowns. There, see, I just pulled a name that from the 80s for me. They used to play him on MTV, actually, very entertaining, and then they somehow just disappeared. Oh, here's some more. It's number 7, To Be Alone With You. 8, What Was It You Wanted? 9, Forever Young. 10, Pledging My Time. 11, The Wicked Messenger. 12, Watching the River Flow. 13, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. And 14, Sierra's Theme. Like I said, I may end up getting it. You know what? That's fine. But here's what I will say, and I've said this a lot, and I've said it before. MTV, yes, it did. Okay, so like anything in life, MTV was good and bad the first few years. I stress this, okay? The first few years. So August of 81 to about 87 was, to me, their glory years, okay, of MTV. Now, here's the thing. That first year or two, yeah, it did. But you know what? I love that damn song, though. I do. And I didn't know that song until that day. I was there. I was there along with all the other ones watching it brand new at noon, 1st of August. I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is this? Because I really didn't think I was going to be into it. I thought MTV 24 hours a day, music, what the hell? I didn't think it was going to work. I was so wrong. I was hooked within a week. if not maybe even the first day or two. But I'll tell you something. I used to go off and I used to have a notebook by my TV. And whenever I found something I liked, I wrote it down in the book. I wrote the song, the artist, and the album title, seriously, so that in case I forgot, I could go back to it for eventual want lists of things. And that was the other thing about MTV back then anyway, is that they would show 60s and 70s videos, and I would even grow bigger into the love of the appreciation of music. So 82 to 87, 81 to 87 to me was the best years of MTV. Okay, now saying that, I liked Headbangers Ball. I learned a lot of stuff from that genre from that. For some people, 120 minutes. I used to dabble watching 120 minutes. I wasn't a big fan of it as much as I was with Headbangers. Okay, I liked Goofy Remote Control, the game show. I liked that. Adam Sandler gets his damn start from that show. And you got Colin Quinn and Ken Ober and all the other ones. So the 80s was fun, but then they started doing the Yo MTV Raps and the Cribs and what the hell, Real World and that other bullshit. I'm like, that's when I stopped watching. Yes, and I would like to get, yeah, no shit, right? But boy, you know what though? I didn't complain because even though, I didn't know at the time that Pat was married to Neil Geraldo, I had a thing for Pat. I also had a thing for Joan Jett too, especially after watching that Do You Want to Touch Me video. Oh my God, that leopard skin. Anyways, wasn't she? I'll tell you. Yes, she was. I wanted to be on that damn show. That would have been a fun-ass show to be on, to be a contestant. That's when my personality was already starting to come out by then. I think I would have made things a hell of a lot amusing for that one episode I would have been on. Yep. Yeah. You know what? I think the whole... okay. So Live Aid, I was so excited, actually, for a lot of the bands. Zeppelin was one of them. I had such high expectations. But to find out, not only were they under-rehearsed, you've got, Phil thought, he did the douchey thing of, I got to fly from L.A. to Philadelphia on the Concorde. Yeah, and I know that Phil, I think, was friends with Robert, too, at the time. I'm not sure. And, of course, you got Tony Thompson was the other drummer. And if they were smart, they could have just went with Jason. He already was starting to be established. You know what? I'm jealous. I have yet to see Joan. Oh, man. Yeah, see Vixen. I would have loved to have seen Vixen. That's pretty damn cool that you got to. Yeah, he's been dead for a few years now, too. Yep, guy has a good old Sheriff Peterson like we talked about before. Oh, man. Yeah, Ken's been dead, I think, a couple years now. I think it was pneumonia. I think it was pre-COVID, I want to say. He got pneumonia. He didn't know how sick he was. And I guess he just went, and I'm just like, no, it's too bad. I'm trying to think. I think Ken Ober was on, for a little while, too, on the FX channel. He did some, in the 90s, he went and did postings and such. I really enjoyed that too. So, yeah. But like I said, the first few years of MTV was a learning experience. I'm not going to lie, the bands got my money because of being able to hear and see. Sure, there was cool videos and stuff, but I almost didn't even really care about the videos. I just wanted to hear the stuff, and I'm like, ooh, and some of these lesser known ones like Blotto or The Look or Bandcamp. I think it was Bandcamp. They were out of Baltimore. I'm a victim. A circumstance, I'm a victim. Anyways, there was some really cool local shit, though, that they would play on MTV, and I'm like, ooh, but I never could find. Yeah, you know what? And there's a lot of things that And that's the thing, because not all of that landed on the DVD sets, by the way. I would love to get the whole damn thing. Seriously. I love Wall of Voodoo. And you know, yes. Oh boy. I've got to. Do I mention this story? Oh no. I don't know if I want to mention the story about Wall of Voodoo and Mexican radio. It's kind of surreal. I'll say that for another time. Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum. Yeah. Yeah, it's like 12 hours or something. I would love to have every minutia from that Live Aid. Because what happened to me, that was when my first leg thing happened. I watched Live Aid. My parents didn't know this. I don't know if they were at work or whatever, but I did something stupid back then, like most teenagers. I was 17 going on 18, and I would get into my dad's vodka, and I had vodka and 7-Up in 32-ounce 7-Eleven tumblers. I drank 1 to 2 of those while I'm watching Live Aid. And seriously, I could have had a painkiller or two while I was at it. I was a dumbass. I'm surprised I didn't, get myself killed. Oingo Boingo. And you know what? I actually know somebody that knows some of the members of the Knights of the Mystic Oingo Boingo, which, by the way, Oingo Boingo was on the Gong Show back in the day, along with Boxcar Willie, not on the same day. See, there you go. That's pretty cool. I still remember that every 4 minutes they'd have this thing on the channel. Yeah, that was annoying after a while. I loved Night Flight, and I'll tell you something. There, you can see, but it's a pay subscription, monthly. You can go back and look at the old Night Flights. You'll just have to look it up, though. Maybe on YouTube they might show you the subscription channel. It's like $2.99 a month or something. I mean, that's not bad to look through all that stuff, right? I mean, there's like hundreds and hundreds of hours, supposedly, on that kind of stuff. Night Flight. Yeah, that was an awesome bit, too. Man, oh man. You know, we grew up, us people in the 70s and 80s, like the early 80s, we grew up with some good shit. We really, really did. Yeah, Friday Night Videos was another one for people that didn't have MTV yet. Of course, good old Pop Clips from Nickelodeon, if I remember correctly, or something. I mean, after all, Mike Nesmith had that. He's basically one of the starters of MTV. True story. As everybody goes, oh, son of a bitch, he always brings it back to the Monkees. You know, okay, now New Wave Theater, I'm not going to lie to you, I only started knowing about New Wave Theater in the last year because I tripped on a pilot episode of a show called The Top. It was done in April 1984. It was supposed to be, Chevy Chase was supposed to host it. There was a bunch of bullshit drama. And he basically was kind of being a wuss. And it had to do with a bunch of punks that were let in, literal punks. Yeah, Rhonda was cute. Oh, see, there you go. So Chevy only filmed the first sketch. And you can find that, actually, on YouTube. Because Entertainment Tonight had some footage of that and why he stormed off. So they quickly, at the last minute, were able to get Andy Kaufman. But there was a couple people from New Wave Theater that were behind the scenes of this Top thing. They were going to try and make it. It was going to be comedy. It was going to be music videos. It was going to be guest stars and everything. I think it would have been a great show. But unfortunately, it died on the vine. We get the one show. If you've never seen it, type in Andy Kaufman, The Top, 1984. It was the last televised appearance, and you already could tell that Andy's got something wrong with him already when you're watching bits of that. Yeah, see, there you go. Oh my God, I haven't seen that. Probably HBO used to watch it. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. $4.99 a month. So I'm sorry. That's still reasonably priced if you're into that stuff. You know what? I don't know if it's a streaming service or you could go and DVR it after you pay for it. Hey, you know that's fine. You know what? I love that movie, and I didn't get to see that movie until YouTube. And you know the one that really threw me off in that movie, and spoiler alert, yeah, 40 years later, here comes your spoiler. The guy that puked, which of course was Bob Samuda. I'm like, really? That's a good book about Kaufman, by the way, Bob Samuda's book. Andy, do I think Andy's dead? Yeah, he's got to be now. He's got to be now. If he popped up out of the blue, I'd be like, I'd almost shit a brick, pardon my French. But I think he's been gone. You know, I really think that it's too bad. You know, I mean, I know that Samuda revived Mr. Tony Clifton. That's my Tony Clifton impression. Hey there, everybody. It's Tony Clifton. I don't know. I know Tony was fucking annoying, yeah. Could you please put out your cigarette? It's bothering my... And then he lights a fucking cigarette up. That Ozfest was a great... You know what? I'll tell you. Ramones, Clash, Van Halen. Oh, shit. You know that was a... I'll have to look into that. I don't know if I saw that. Good old Tony Clifton. And he had those whores on Taxi. I got a contract. I'm supposed to be here for a couple of appearances, and these two are going to help me. And if I remember correctly, he really, as Andy was boinking him in the trailer. Yeah, Kaufman and Letterman. See, yeah, I know that's the easy one to do for you know, because that's where I learned how to do Tony Clifton. My bad impression was that movie, Man on the Moon. Some respect. Give me some respect. Rodney may not get it. Hey, keep me out of this, Clifton. Shut up. Yeah, by the mole. By the mole. 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 Oh, God. Oh, I'll tell you. Moly. Yeah. I have watched a lot of things with him. Okay. I watched the special at Howdy Doody. All this stuff on YouTube. I watched the Howdy... Oop, dang it, sorry. Hope you can still hear me. That was my fault. But yeah, I mean... I could see him doing that. I could. Especially in his rant videos. Good old Mayo. You know, I gotta thank Joe. Okay? And I gotta thank Rachel, too. I really do. Those are the two that got me started into the live streaming. Joe Mayo and Rachel. You know, whether you like them or hate them, either, both, or together, I have to thank them because, You know, they're the ones that, for me, got me into putting my toes in the water and having this now for, geez, I think almost 3 years I've been doing this, live streams. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I saw that live. I saw that live. We'll put up your comment up for a minute, because anybody that loved the show Fridays, okay? I loved that damn show Fridays. And here's the thing. I'm such a dweeb that, okay, so there's a TV commercial. I saw it a couple weeks ago, for the General. You know, the one, General Insurance with Shaq. Hey, look, it's the General. But there's a guy that shows up, and he's got a beard. And I saw who it was in 2 seconds. I'm like, my God, it's Mark Blankenfield. Mark Blankenfield from Fridays is in a new General Auto Insurance commercial. And last year, maybe a year and a half ago, I swear to God, I thought I tripped on Darryl Lycus in it was a cable commercial. Like a cable, for about cable TV. And I'm like, holy crap, you know, that they're still around. Oh, Melanie Chardoff, she was hot. You know, and then what, after Fridays, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I remember that show. Most people probably don't. See, and you know what, and thank you so much, truthfully. We got some great people. Mad TV. I love Mad TV. Probably, let's see, Mad TV, Michael McDonald, Will Sasso, Frank Caliendo. There was that one girl, though. She was like, she was so cute and like sort of hot. And I was just kept thinking to myself, I'm like, And, oh, you betcha. Like, okay, like some of the quieter stuff, like when Randy Meisner showed up and did Hearts on Fire, I liked that. When Devo showed up and did Uncontrollable Urge. Oh God, Bobby Lee. See, now, Bobby Lee, unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of him anymore. I heard some behind-the-scenes things about him that I'm not so sure about that has to do with, well, I don't want to say. Look it up. Yeah, you'll find out what I'm talking about. Do you know why Mayo blocked me? It all comes down to this. Some years ago, I had the audacity to tell Yoko Ono a joke, and he got all, well, you know what, Yoko Ono is a joke. That's all we can say about it. Even though she's in hospice. Sorry, she's in hospice. The thing, you know, okay, well, anyways, back to the Fridays thing really quick, and then we'll talk about Yoko for a second. Do you mind, though, for a minute? I want to get some more coffee, so give me a second. I'll be right back after these commercial announcements. Well, you know, it's my channel, so I can tell you it's commercial. Let's see. How about, do I have, when words fail? Music space. Just give me a second here, okay? It's, maybe Paul can, hello there. Hello, how are you? Shit, whatever. It's just, don't go away. Hang on a second. Because we'll talk about a couple of music moments from Fridays that still I love very much. Oh my God. This hurts, guys. This really hurts. Ow, I just heard something pop. I think I heard my hip just pop, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. Ow. Whew, that was not fun. That was not fun, ladies and gentlemen. So, love SCTV. Fish and Musician. The Tubes and the Plasmatics. And I want to bring up the Plasmatics. The Schmengy Brothers. We are the Schmengy Brothers. They should have done a movie. I'm sorry. There should have been a Schmengy Brothers movie, like a documentary. I would have laughed my ass off. He only defends Yoko because he met her twice. Well, you know what? That's fine. Oh boy. Okay. Scan up to read your Yoko joke. All right, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Scan up to read. Oh, okay, hang on. How did I end up missing all of this? There's so many comments. I'm sorry, guys. The joke was, what does Yoko Ono have in common with a spider? Oh, boy. Answer. Oh, boy. Well, I ain't blocking you for that. It just was a bad joke. Right. Oh, my God. That old boy. I'm telling you, he was so good in that. He was. I was like, and then he did, I looked forward to those bits. I was laughing my ass off. We all were. My dad had a sense of humor, too, and he would just be laughing his ass off of that. Same here, Manoff. He asked me what I had against Yoko, and I said she ruined everything. Mike Douglas, Rock and Roll Circus, Sweet Toronto. Well, it's true. It's true. It's true, though, damn it. I mean, the video evidence is there. We don't even have to say anything. It's there, for God's sakes. That's right. Each and every time, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I mean, come on. It can't. Hang on a second. They named a 70s popcorn snack Screaming Yellow Zonkers. Well, yes, I've heard that. Yeah, I have not read one pot. Oh my God, Mel's Rock Pile. Oh, good. Oh God. There was so many good parts of that show. What do you mean, no, don't be that way, Paulie? I'm not banning you, you goof. I got the joke. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't. I never will. And I guess it's not our job to. You know, we don't know what. But listen, from what I heard, this is what I heard, that she was going to divorce him in 81. Seriously, she was going to divorce him. Absolutely. Yes. Let me type in the email. Let me type in the email. Hang on a second, guys. So back to the Fridays thing for a minute, okay? So, you know, seeing Randy Meisner doing Hearts on Fire, and then seeing Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, which was excellent, and then seeing Devo doing Uncontrollable Urge. But the two favorites for me is Kiss, which I loved when they were on there. Should be coming there. That is my email, okay? Has been since 2000. So I'm not going to lie to you. I don't check my emails every day. I at least try to check them once or twice a week. So if I don't get to you right away, please do not think I am ignoring you. I think I said that to Scott, and I've said it to George and a few other people. You know what? I wanted John to be with May Pang. I really, really did. And I don't get it. I just don't get it. I think they would have been a happier couple, I think. But then again, would Lennon have destroyed himself because of the Lost Weekend? Would he have been a drug-drink casualty by 1975? Would he have been the first Beatle? I mean, he already was the first Beatle to die, but would he have died a few years before? I don't know. Oh, dear Lord. Yeah. So Kiss's performance on there was great, but the one that was great and over the top, the Plasmatics. Oh my God! So I remember, because me and my family, my mom and dad, we used to watch a lot of stuff together. We watched Fridays, we watched Saturday Night Live. We did. We watched all that stuff. And so let's see. So I would have been 14 going on 15 when the Plasmatics did their thing. Butcher Baby. And then she's got the sawed-off shotgun. And then kaboom, boom, boom, the whole light truss comes down, the squealing of sirens. And then they cut to commercial after all of it. And I remember my dad went off and he said to me, he goes, "What the hell did we just see?" And I said to him, "Well, it's one of two things, Dad." I go, "Either the future of music," I go, "or something that isn't going to last, but at least they tried." And I said, and I kind of like it either way. And then he said something about Wendy O. Williams, like, "Oh, you just like because of that." And yeah, sure. Oh, I like Wendy O. Williams. You betcha. It's just too bad that she killed herself. He could have broken away from the codependent manipulative witch that he was married to, which broke up his, man. Yeah. That's right, Bill Murray was in Square Pegs. I remember Square Pegs. I like that show too, because they would have different bands and stuff. Wasn't Devo on there, and the Waitresses, and somebody else too. I remember the Waitresses from "I Know What Boys Like, I Know What Guys Want," and then what is it? Christmas rapping. I never liked that song. I think she's gone too now, that one from the Waitresses. I know, right? She does seem that way. Yes. Tom Snyder. I love the Kiss interview. I love the Lennon interview. I think he did a great job for both of those. And another one that I really liked. Oh God, yes. Yeah. Dan Aykroyd did a great job as Tom Snyder. There's one on YouTube that you guys can watch. It's the whole broadcast. This was back when Tom Snyder was still in LA for the NBC affiliate, and he's getting ready to move to NBC to go national, okay? Because he went in early 75, I want to say, to do Tomorrow. So you're talking still LA, Tom Snyder show, late 1974. You've got a mini Little Rascals reunion, okay? You got Spanky, Buckwheat, Darla, and two others, I think. I think there's 4 or 5 for a reunion. Very cool stuff, and I highly recommend it. Yes. Did you see Wendy on Tom's? Yes, and you know what? I love the interview. She showed how intelligent she was. She was not no ditz. No. Some people think my Connecticut buddy and Aykroyd look up. Maybe they do. You know what's really funny? And you got to see a liquor store. Dan Aykroyd is... Tom had the Clash, Wendy, and his stand-in had the Ramones. Dan Aykroyd, I guess, is going out to certain liquor stores to sign his Crystal Skull vodka. So go maybe check his website. Maybe he'll come to a liquor store near you. And I have heard very positive stories about Dan Aykroyd. Obviously, you're going to have to buy a bottle of booze, but I'm told that if the line isn't too ridiculous, you could slip in maybe. He'll sign the bottles, but you might be able to bring an extra item. I would not push it past that. But yeah, I heard he's really nice. I'd like to meet Dan Aykroyd. I've met a bunch of people over the years from Saturday Night Live, but Bill Murray is like the only one from the original 5 years that I've met. Everybody else was after that. And then, like I said, even though he wasn't on SNL, I met Pauly Shore briefly a couple weeks ago. I found out Tim Meadows is coming back to the Comedy Club in July, but I don't think I'm going to have money for that. I don't know. I'd like to, but I'm not going to hold my breath. See, there you go. There you go. But let's see. So yeah, a lot of good shows back then. You know, the original SNL and Fridays, and of course, like we said, MTV the first couple of years. Night Flight was another one. You know, we ended up, you know, us people in the, you know, in the 70s and early 80s, we had some really kick-ass stuff. We really, really did. And no matter what part of the country you lived in, you know, being that I was really close to Chicago, you know, I was able to pick up a lot of stuff. I could pick up, obviously, you know, almost all the Chicago stations. Once in a while, I could pick up Milwaukee or Rockford, you know, so I got to be able to see some of that stuff too. Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, I could see that. That could be easily done. But you know, so I mean, we grew up watching that stuff, and of course, you know, obviously for our 70s and early 80s, we still had Bandstand. Okay, so we got to hear that aspect, and Soul Train. Okay, so we have those also, and just to expand on that. Of course, let's not forget Midnight Special. I did get to see a handful of Midnight Specials over the years. Okay, I don't know if it was I was doing other stuff or what, but I did remember watching some Midnight Specials. I watched some Don Kirshner rock concerts, you know, a bunch of that stuff. So we got to see a lot of good stuff all those years. Yes. I saw the Kiss episode, and maybe one or two others. Did you hear that the evil empire Disney has somehow been able to remove it? Oh no, is this another joke? Or is it? Yeah. We Monsieur. Yep, Don Kirshner's rock concert. I love those. I miss those shows. And you know what? I'll tell you something. I'm so glad that a lot of the Midnight Special, not everything obviously, but a lot of the Midnight Special, you can buy on DVD. There's mini box sets. Oh, you know, I didn't know. Did you see George on Dick Cavett? Yes, but through YouTube though. He sat down and Dick told him Yoko sat in that chair. I jumped in. Yes. That's right. That's right. You know, Dick back then, he was really good. He really was. I liked the George one. Wasn't that the episode that Wonder Wheel shows up, which would be Gary Wright, Mick Jones? Is that the episode of Cavett that they end up performing? And then, of course, I love the Janice episode, and if I remember correctly, Jimmy and John was on there, so I like all those. Oh, yeah, I don't like it when people mess with films. Seriously. You know, I know our generation here kind of sucks majorly. You know, they should not be messing with classic cinema. It's a time frame. Cinema is time. It's captured in time by celluloid. And for some like the Kinks, it's Celluloid Heroes. I would have loved to have met Groucho. I would have loved to have met any of them from the Marx Brothers or the Three Stooges. I would have loved to have shook their hands. I don't know why. I guess as I'm getting older, I'm kind of a huggy type of person too, but I would have settled for handshakes and maybe a quick mini hug just because I really love them that much and I thank them for what they've done. And Midnight Specials watched a lot, have book about it, and on every episode. Oh, could you tell me, John, if you know right off the bat who wrote that book? Because I would like to find that book. I do remember seeing the Muhammad Ali. Wasn't Ali and Sly? Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. I think I saw part of that episode on YouTube. Oh, I didn't know the Stones were on Cavett. Yeah. Oh, did he ever? Oh, good. That's good. They need to. I know Don Kirshner's been dead for a few years. They need to start doing that. You know, either on YouTube or as a pay service, or put out a box set or two of Don Kirshner rock concerts, even if it's like best ofs and stuff. We need to see this. We just need to. Okay, it's been too long. You know, I know some people have got their opinions on Kirshner. Oh God, that would be funny. Yep, I'm Don Kirshner. But yeah, it's like, you know, love him or hate him. I mean, Kirshner had a golden ear. He did have ear for talent. Okay, and he was involved in the Monkees, those first two albums. And you know what? Kirshner overextended is what he did. I think that if he would have stayed out of some things, he could have lasted a little longer, but he thought he was being funny. And maybe that's where he should have learned his mistake. And I guess he did, if you think about it, because after that, he had the Archies. And he made sure that there wasn't going to be any Monkees-related stuff. And it's just Ron Dante and company. And I like the Archies records, too. There's some good tunes off of that stuff, too. And then, of course, started Kirshner. Yeah, Kirshner was a producer. But in fact, I came across on Kirshner Records. I think I showed it in my last episode here, that I found a small stack of 45s. I did not know that Kerry Livgren did at least a promo 45 of Mask of the Great Deceiver from his album Seeds of Change, which Ronnie James Dio sings on that track. So you've got Ronnie James Dio and Kerry Livgren from Kansas. And if I remember correctly, I want to say, I could be getting this wrong, I think Barrymore Barlow from Tull is on drums on that track. So talk about a very strange track. Midnight Special with Wolfman Jack. I liked Wolfman Jack. I heard mixed stories about Wolfman Jack. What I mean by that is like personal meeting stories. Some say he was great, some say he was a douche. I don't know. I guess like anything else, you know, everybody has good and bad days. I would have loved to have met Wolfman. I mean, I think personally, American Graffiti was the first time I knew of Wolfman Jack, and then of course with the Midnight Special shows and such. Not gonna lie, never saw it. I probably need to look into that. Maybe he was a great douche. I don't know. You know, I would have loved. I would have loved to have met Wolfman. Wolfman died, I'm told. He came back from a mini book signing tour because he had his autobiography. So if you ever come across Wolfman's autobiography, take a look inside that book, because you just could have a signed book, but it's going to be pretty rare. Seriously, I always look for signed books. I find a lot of different things. I don't remember if I showed you guys, and I can't get to it right now, but my signed Larry Lujak from WLS from the mid-'70s. Even though he wrote the book while he was with WCFL, Super CFL, AM 1000. But of course, he would go to WLS, which I love Uncle Lair. He was one of my favorites growing up. WLS. Clap for the Wolfman. He gonna rate your record high. The Guess Who. New album Guess Who has got. At this point, they should call themselves the Guess What, because all there is Gary Peterson. That's it. On Deco Entertainment. And it doesn't even sound like Guess Who. It doesn't even sound close to it. Midnight Special 1972 to 81, Late Night's Original Rock and Roll Show. Oh, good, okay. All right, thank you. Let me keep this up for a minute so I can write this down. Made it to 81 though, huh? I didn't know they were around that long. I don't know why I thought they were... I don't know why I thought they shut down in the late 70s. Wasn't like the first season, and just the first season was Helen Reddy, right? And then Wolfman came on and did the rest? I don't know if I'm right on that. Because somehow I remember... Okay, thank you for that. Yes, it is a great song by the Guess Who. You know what one of my favorite Guess Who songs from that era is? Star Baby. I love Star Baby. It just seems to work really well. That's right, Animal Stories. And you know what's funny? But I got these both in Illinois. I have a couple vinyl albums of Animal Stories. I got 2 of them. I think they made 5 or 6. And I would love to find all the rest. Seriously. Yeah, no kidding. Because seriously, the Guess Why? Like I said, other than Gary Peterson, and Jim Cale, the bass player, owns the name, okay? Gary doesn't have anything to do with the name. Jim's got it. He bought it in 86, I think. I could be wrong on that, too. Maybe it was sooner, actually. But the only other person of name is there's somebody from Coney Hatch that's in the Guess Who. Now, anyway, or has been for a few years. I ain't never seen a white man, Wolfman performs that on Wolf Midnight Special Episode 2, hosted by Johnny Rivers. Because he was a secret Asian man. I mean, secret Asian man. See what I did there? Never mind. Wolfman, yeah, I know he was great in Graffiti. I was watching that clip yesterday. Oh, Wolfman was first. The complete videos are up. Well, thank you. I'll have to start watching that some more. Isn't it weird that early in his career, supposedly hardly anyone ever heard of Wolfman, and everyone thought he was black? You know what? I'll tell you something. Obviously, you know, seeing him in American Graffiti, I maybe would have thought he was too if I didn't see him. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Oh, John Denver. Boy, that's strange. But he was popular in '72. Boy, oh boy. I don't know. I don't know. Would I have gone and seen John Denver live? Maybe. You know, there's, okay, Annie's song I used to use on a lot of different mixtapes to my girlfriends. You build... Okay, here, let me see here. Bob Dylan singing a song for us, line from Annie's song. You build up my senses. Like a Christy Gentleman. Oh. Rocky Mountain High. Hey. As everyone runs away. We're like, we ain't hearing this shit. We ain't in the mood for this late. Yeah, I know, right? I swear I did not inhale. Some era classic films, Hollywood. God, Hollywood Nights. I remember Hollywood. Now, Newborn Turk, I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to put that. Newborn Turk. Or is that a character in Hollywood Nights? Because I don't remember. But Hollywood Nights, yes, I do remember watching that movie. Either late night or HBO. HBO used to watch in the early 80s, used to put a lot of old stuff. I ain't never seen an acoustic act live. That would be boring in my opinion. Well, okay, so I saw Don McLean. This is separate gigs. Don McLean and Al Stewart acoustically. I thought they were great. I did. Now, with Al, he did end up having a second guitar player came in, but it was acoustics. He had a pair of acoustics. Wow. Oh, character, okay. As the new headquarters, SDE reveals the material that Kirshner had been. Wasn't one of the songs something about Davey singing "Wish He Could Play the Violin"? There was some pretty. Yeah, you're right. Some of it was weak. Definitely. Yeah, no kidding. Headquarters and Pikes Accordion, Scott Corns Jones would not have been existed with Gunter Kirshner. That would have been a great double bill. Seriously, I would have loved to have seen that. Oh, awesome. Okay. Like I said, it's been many, many years since I saw Hollywood Nights. I'd have to rewatch it again. Oh, man. We are almost at 2 hours. Yes. Let's not forget Yorma, and Jack Cassidy. Every time I saw the Almonds, they had someone like Thorogood or Government. See, that would have been great. You're right about Government Mule. Thorogood and Almonds would be a great one, too. Thorogood came down here a few years back. I didn't have the money. That's what it was. I didn't have the money. I would have loved to have seen Thorogood. I actually heard after the show he stuck around and signed autographs and backstage for a few minutes even, and then he left. Yeah, I like his 80s stuff. I do. I mean, Bad to the Bone is still my favorite. I love that music video. Him and Bo Diddley. Oh, my God. Really good stuff. Real good stuff. Oh, man. I don't know. So, I was going to say something else I forgot now. That's okay. Did I do everything on the sheet here? I had one comment about Vinnie Vincent. You Kiss fans out there. I'm not going to hold my breath on this, but supposedly between now and the end of the year, Judgment Day, a.k.a. Guitarmageddon Volume 1, will be released. I'll believe it when I see it. I think it is the Guitarmageddon record that was supposed to be out in the mid-90s, courtesy of Enigma Records that never came out. Robert Fleischman is on vocals for some of this record. Like I said, I'm not going to hold my breath on it, though. There should be a rule. Every classic rock era band has to perform at least one show for seniors and not chores. Well, that would be all right, don't you think? I'd like that. One senior show a year. Oh, now there's a name that deserves more recognition, okay? Leo Kottke. I don't know a lot of his material, but what I've heard I've liked. I may have like one album in my collection of Leo Kottke, and it's not for the lack of trying, although you can probably pick up Leo Kottke albums at a reasonable price. Go check him out on YouTube. I don't know if I think Leo's passed away, but I could be wrong. Yeah, see? Ton of Kottke. Very underrated. If Leo's around, I love you, Leo. September in Illinois, Joliet, Illinois, if I remember correctly, to be precise. They will have the second year Illinois Route 66 Rock and Roll Museum Awards. I can't remember everybody that's going in, but New Colony 6 is going in. One of my favorite Illinois bands. Now, their Centaur material is the best, in my opinion. Breakthrough, if anybody knows of a decent copy, decent condition album on Centaur Records of New Colony 6's Breakthrough from late 65, early 66, I am looking for one. Seriously, I really, really want an original. Yes, I'd like to get I've got a Sun-Dazed, and it's a really cool, I'll have to show it sometime. It's signed separately by Ray Graffia and Ronnie Rice, the only two members from that era I have met. I have met Skip Griparis, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Skip was a member of New Colony 6 from 1969 after the Mercury album stuff to about 1973. So he is only on the Sunlight 45s and the MCA thing. But, you know, I love New Colony 6. I got to see Ray's version perform. He was great. Ray's a nice guy. I got to see Ronnie in a solo show. Oh, he's 70. Excellent. Well, Leo, I know you're not going to see this show, but I love you. We love you here, too. And Cocky never liked his own voice. Said it sounded like geese farts. Oh, boy. That's pretty descriptive. Oh, God. I don't know. But thanks for bringing that up, Charles. Seriously, thanks for bringing that up. It was in the back of my skull, and I'm glad you came on here to bring this up. I'm going to leave your comment up for a minute while I talk about this. So that's the new record coming out from, what number is this chip? 7A. So if you are a Boyce and Hart fan, which I am, now let me say this about Boyce and Hart. Very talented pair back in the day, okay? It took me a while, though, to appreciate Boyce and Hart. When I was a Young Monkees fan, I did not know the connection between Boyce and Hart at first. The first song I ever heard from Boyce and Hart, Wonder What She's Doing Tonight. I love that song. That is probably my favorite Boyce and Hart song. Always will be. I do remember seeing them on, if I remember correctly, I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. I saw those when I was a kid, sometime in the 70s. So what do I think about this coming out, the 55th anniversary of this album? I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth. I don't have any of the albums. I want them all. I want that album. I want Test Patterns. If I remember correctly, they put 4 albums on A&M Records. I don't have any of them. And that's kind of half my fault, because there was one time that I could have got them all under $10 each. I should have pulled the damn trigger and got it all. I've got a handful of 45s. I think it's great that I guess that it's coming out. I just wish there was bonuses. There had to have been some outtakes somewhere. The only thing that you're going to get on the vinyl is 500 copies. I may end up getting it on CD. There's supposed to be a 28-page booklet with unreleased photos. So, because, all right, so on the beginning of Daydream Believer, all right, they just thought it was cute that they left it in there, because when Davey went off and he asked, what take is this? He goes, what number is this chip? 7A. Because I guess that day Davey was being a little bit extra saucy, if you will. So that's why the rest of the band chimed in, and he said what he said. Oh, did they? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought he'd make 4 albums. My bad. Yeah. And so, I don't know. Maybe like take A could have been 7A could have been a vocal, 7B could have been the instrument. I don't know how they do things behind the scenes, but I'll probably maybe end up getting that Boyce and Hart CD eventually, but it's not on my priority list right now. I wish I had money to, and they have not announced the date for the pre-order through Beatland Books on the Mickey Dolenz new book called I Was Told I Had a Real Good Time, Volume 1. I do want one of those. Yes, I already know I want the soft cover because I can't afford the other ones. Those are going to be ridiculously priced. and I'm not doing it. So I am a poor son of a bitch. That's all I can say about it. Yeah, see, exactly. Yep, that's what we're talking about. And I'll say that's cool. I love that stuff. It's been a while since I watched all that. But yeah, eventually I would like to get. I'm gonna have to hurry though. They have not started the pre-orders. They're supposed to announce that sometime between now and the end of the month, the pre-orders will happen. As long as they don't, I don't know if they have to take the money right away or not. If they don't take the money right away, then yes, I'll classify myself for a pre-order of the soft cover because I've got that Monkeys book. I'm still going through that. Unfortunately, there's so much I can only do it in little dribs and drabs. So, yes, yeah, right. Nice. That is a great comp. That really, really is. I love the Who. I love the old school Who. Out of all honesty, I would say that, well, I don't know, 67 to 74 was like couldn't really do wrong. Well, that's not true. They did have those singles in 65, 66. But, I mean, I guess I would say that after about 70, 73, actually. Maybe, no, when did Quadrophenia come out? 74? Anyways, after that, though, it seemed like they kind of got dinged a little bit. Who by Numbers and Who Are You are still good records. But I honestly think that, between their first album and Quadrophenia was their best stuff. I don't know. Do I think the Who should have broke up after Mooney died? I don't know. Remains to be seen. I still love Face Dances. I brought that up before. It's Hard, not so much. Could have been a strong EP. Nah, see what I did there? I don't know, whatever. Yeah, that's what I heard too, actually. The first one cuts off 1977. I said on a recent Silch podcast that they have 2 debut releases. Oh, is that right? Is that right? Well, I'm going to be pretty nosy. I'm going to be curious to see what's going to be coming down that pipe. Now, I will say this, and like I said, because I got hurt and I haven't been feeling really good the last couple of weeks, I didn't even get a chance to tell you about how I got real sick after, Carol and I got sick at that hospital, which took me out of commission for a week, and it was just god awful. The last month and a half has been shit. But I still have Davy Jones's Manchester Boy personal file that I still need to finish the review on. I know that was last year, but I just haven't had a chance to do it. But I want to. Yeah, understood. I would agree with you on that. But like I said, I do like the Face Dances album. I mean, it did show that they still could do it, even though maybe Kenny Jones, while, he did a good job, maybe wasn't the best fit for the Who. I don't know who would have been if they would have kept going, that way. But Kenny was a stopgap. That's what it was. But we talked about that before also. I still recommend the Who's last album from 2019, I think it was. That album was pretty dang good, most of it. I also recommend Roger Daltrey's last solo album he did, which has Pete on 7 tracks. It cooks. If you don't have it, you should get it. And you can get it pretty reasonably priced now. Me, I got my copy at Goodwill for $2. The Roger one. And then the Who, I went and got the Target edition, which that adds a couple more demos. I don't really think they were that extra special, but to get the more bang for the buck, get the Target edition, and then you'll have everything from that Who album. I don't know if they're going to do another one. Something tells me no, but you know, I mean, if they finished off on that 2019, then so be it. You know, that's fine. I just can't believe that in the 90s that they did not try to record material with John. You know, that really, really, really surprised me, because there was some greatest hits that came out with, what the hell was it called? Pretty Good Looking Boy? I could have sworn that there in the liner notes, it said that John was they were gonna record it with John, and then John died. So I don't know. The last Who track that you get with John studio wise, if I remember correctly, is the Elton John tribute, Two Rooms, which has got the three of them and Zach Starkey doing Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. If I remember correctly, that was the last track that was recorded with John while he was alive. All right, you know, here's the thing. Oh boy. I have heard different aspects of this story. And as far as I'm concerned, it was a one-off. And oh boy. You know what, Mike? I'm going to just tell you, just Google it. There's just way too much for me to talk about, okay? We've heard Roger's point of view. We have heard Pete's point of view. We heard Pete's live-in girlfriend, wife, whatever point of view, and somebody that was at Scotland Yard. All of their points of view. Okay? And I don't really think he did. I think it was just a one-off mistake. I really do. They didn't find anything else on those laptops and the desktops. They seized them very quickly. There wasn't a chance really for him to erase anything. Seriously. So I think it was just a mistake. That's all there is, and he admitted that mistake. So I'm going to leave it at that. Manchester Boy is excellent. His version of Nina Simone's Feeling Good is awesome. Speaking of Townsend, he allegedly plays keyboard on some of the Davey tracks. You know what? Oh my God. So, Charles, I get what you're talking about. I didn't know about the keyboard part, but what was it? It was 19. Oh God. Davey did. Was it for the To Be or Not to Be? You know what? It's getting kind of late for me here, and but yes, I found out on one of the Davy Jones 7A releases that he was working in Townsend's studio, and Pete was there when Davey recorded one of his songs. So I could see that, and I hope that's true. That would be pretty fucking cool to have Pete Townsend, a member of the Who and the Monkees. You betcha. You betcha I would love that. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Because it had to do with, oh God, I can't remember what solo album it was. He was doing research for stuff. That's, Old Red Wine. That's right. That's right. What year of the retirement tour is this? Oh boy. Yeah, I know. You know, my biggest regret was not being able to see them on the 89, 90, I think it was they called it the Join Together tour, Alpine Valley. I really wish I could have seen. Yeah, that's, like I said, supposedly they did not find any other evidence on there. That's the only reason why I'm going to say I think it was a one-off. I hope I'm wrong. We do know, of course, about Pete Townsend, according to his book, about the previous abuse he suffered when he was a kid. So I hope he was not repeating the cycle. Mike, how you doing? I know I'm still on here. I don't know why. Right. That would have been cool too. Excellent. I think Zach Starkey's a great drummer. I really, really do. Oh, man. So, guys, I'm going to wrap this up, I think. I can't believe I yapped for 2 hours, 15 minutes. Also can't believe nobody popped on here, but that's all right, too. And like I said, I'm glad you guys were able to hear this with no echo. And I can thank my son about these. I found these in a box this week, and he gave them to me, but I'm like, I forgot all about this. I wish I could afford to go to any shows. Although saying that, they did announce, I thought, how goofy, September 11th, so 9/11, oh boy, here in town, Tenacious D will be here. And I actually like Tenacious D. I think if somehow I can afford it, I would love to take my kid, John. He's been with me on a couple concerts. I would love to see Tenacious D. I heard they're pretty cool, too. There's no way in hell we'd get to meet them. The way the amp is structured, it's not like the old amp. The old amp, I maybe could have got away with it, but not the new amp. Yeah, there's no echo. Good. There's no echo. Good. That's the way I like it. So we will be keeping these things. We have Indy and the Dial of Destiny and 10D and I know the Pick of. I love the Pick of Destiny. That was a great movie. But yeah, so Tenacious D, they will be here September 11th. They also announced Queens of the Stone Age will be here in October. That one's iffy. I don't know if I'll go to that or not, or try to. I've been trying to. There hasn't been many concert ticket giveaways. They did try. I'm still in the running for one pair of Foo Fighters tickets for next Wednesday. It'll be in the lawn, though, and they're going to have to put up with me with crutches. I don't care. Would I go see him? You betcha. I'm not going to pass up the Foos. I pity the Foos. Mr. T, I heard you fight Foos. That's a Robot Chicken reference in case you don't know what that is. But let's see. Culture Club is still coming. It's Culture Club, Berlin, Howard Jones. They will all be here in August. I would love to see that. But we shall see. We shall see about all of that stuff. I can't. If I win tickets, great. If not, wasn't meant for me. Young man, who? Where? Thank you. You know what, guys? Like I said, I really do love you guys. I do. I appreciate when you guys can spend time here. I had up to about 16 people in this thing. I don't know who else was on tonight. I know it's Thursday. I don't know if there was a record auction or Schnee or whatever was on. But I want to thank everybody for doing this. Charles says, thanks, Paul, for keeping up your live streams. I've been going through a lot of them. You know what? Seriously, Charles, thank you so very much. And if you haven't liked and subbed, kindly do that too. I would really love that, out of all honesty. And yes, I do keep them up because I got nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not saying that some people have things to be ashamed of, and that's why they don't put their live streams up. But I like to do it because, well, for example, rest in peace, Beans. It's going to be almost a year for him now, and I still have, you got to go back, but there's appearances of Beans on at least between 6 and 10 of my episodes. Yes, you're right, just 3 members in Culture Club. You know what? Good evening, everybody. Hi, I'm glad you showed up. Hi, everybody in the chat. I'm just about ready to wrap up. Thank you. I will probably check that tomorrow if that's okay with you, because I know I'm kind of getting a little tired here, but then again, I'm getting a little hungry. So I might go try to torture my son. I can still drive. Thank God it's not my driving leg. But I might go torture my son. He's working at Waffle House right now. Good old Waffle House. Thank you. I really do mean that, guys. I try to be very honest and sincere and open with you guys because that's just the way to be. That's the right way to be. And that's the way I grew up. But I love you guys very, very much. Thank you. Do you have a channel, Charles? Because I'll sub back to you too. I do that. I mention shout outs in every next available live stream. I do that. But if you've got a channel, I'll sub for yours as well. I do that a lot. In fact, I found some new channels that I will bring up on the next episode, which will be probably sometime next week. But all right, take care. God bless. Rock on. Always powered by coffee each and every time. Of course, Lisa shows up to the party now. As I'm about ready to leave, Lisa. I'm glad to see you nevertheless. I've seen your videos that you've been posting through Facebook. I saw your short little videos. Peace to you. Hi. Oh boy. Yeah, I know your timing is, oh boy. Nah, listen, I'm glad you show up. At least you can watch it. You can go back and watch it. That's okay. That's all right. I'm on crutches. I either sprained or tore my ligament in my bad knee. I'm out for a couple weeks so I can see my doctor. So I'm hoping, like I said, that I can make it through the month. I'm not going to lie. So, all right, I'm going to shut up now. Yeah, long live Beans. God, do I miss Kev. My God. You know, I'll go back to those episodes and watch when I miss him. And I'll sometimes go back, like I think Mayo, there's some old ones. Doc Dacus has got some. Yeah, I miss him that much. He was like the brother I never had. Seriously. And truthfully, you know, he was one of the best guests I ever had, too. Thank you. And thank you very much for your kind words. Yes, any prayers would be appreciated in general. All right, I'm going to shut up. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Rock on. Always powered by coffee. Each and every time. That is a guarantee. Please go look at some of those Jukebox from Hells if you haven't. I'll be filming Don Troppo within the week. We will be starting up season 2 again of Jukebox from Hell. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies about Psykos Platters. This close to 1,000 subs. About 50 and some change. We're almost at the home stretch, guys. And then you know what? Once I hit 1,000, that's great. I have no real alternative motor. That's great. Ulterior motive, exactly. But I just feel, I'm sorry, I feel I deserve it after all these years. That's all. All right. Yes, everybody. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Seriously. All right, guys. And good night.